Hey guys, welcome back. Well, it's 2:30 in the morning and I can't sleep. So we're going to try and make some progress on the D here again. I've got the axles done. Or as far as, you know, the Gliptol and everything, the axles are good and ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and put those together. Really quick, I just wanted to address an issue that came up in the last week and a half. Minor setback. I found out I have a hernia, so I'm trying to do, you know, the light work that I can do, quote unquote light work. I'm not supposed to lift more than 10 pounds, but the axles are a lot more than 10 pounds. So we're gonna get the surgery in late September. So that's the plan going forward. I don't know. And I really am convinced at this point that the D is not going to be done for roll log, unfortunately. But, you know, these things happen. You got to do what you got to do. So we're going to go ahead and get the axles inside the housings, and we'll put the seals and everything together and get that part buttoned up. I can't put the axles and housings in the rear case yet because I'm waiting on some vulcanized fiber washers for sealing the bolts that clamp the axle housings into the rear tub. So waiting on those to show up. I ordered 170 of them just to have some extra. I know that I'm required to have 160, so we'll try 170 and see if that works. Hopefully we don't run out. So let's get started. That's really all I've got. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, yes, I am wearing flip-flops, but I did get the inner axle bearings pressed onto the axle already. If you guys can see that at the bottom here, those are pressed on already. So I greased the race inside the axle housing. So we're gonna go ahead and slide that down. And let it sit on the bearing. Just give it a turn. Everything looks good there. So then we need our bearing seal cup. Okay. The bearing I still have to pack yet. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we've dropped our bearing in place, no problem there. Slides right down into place. And we've got our seal retainer that goes in. And then our oiled felt seals go into the retainer like such. And then we put our inner axle nut on. And I put some grease on the threads so that everything turns like it's supposed to. There's a lot of threads here, so it takes a minute. Okay, so we've got the nut all the way down. It's turning still pretty loosely, so I'm going to give it just a few taps. A couple more. That's probably about where we want to be, just a little bit of tension on the bearings. So next step is we've got some lock washers. if I can find them. Oh, not those. Here we go. Brand new old stock D144R lock washers. You can put one of these in place here. Find the keyway. And then we can put on our outermost axle nut. Oh, hey, don't step on the farm all in pieces in flip-flops. We'll get this one turned down and we'll finish it off with the fold-over lock. Okay, we've got our outer axle nut tight and then our lock bolt tight. I bent over the fold-over lock up in the direction of the nut here, down in the direction of the inner axle nut in two different places to prevent that. It's to prevent both this axle nut from turning, and then I wanted to prevent the inner one from turning. So that should be locked in and good to go. One down, one to go. All right, get some lacquer thinner and a clean rag. Well, I figured we'd slide the head on since we can't, just putting on some lead washers underneath the head bolts. But because we can't put the axles in till we get the proper sealing washers, figured we might as well close up the engine. Well, the front half of the engine anyway. I got to repair the rear, the crankcase cover. I have to make a good one out of two. Okay, there's enough washers to do two, so I'm going to put 2 lead washers on each of them. Just for extra measure. There we go. Start spinning nuts on. Now I'm just working my way around in series. I'm going up in about 25-pound increments. This is 150 foot-pounds. And this is as high as my torque wrench goes. And it calls for 208 foot-pounds. So, as I mentioned in a previous video, I'm going to have to borrow the torque wrench from Domino to get the last 58 pounds. Just kind of staggering the nuts as I tighten them. But right now we're at 150 pounds or so. So that's going to do it for the cylinder head for now, until we get a better torque wrench or a higher capacity torque wrench. I did slide the clutch cover and driver in place. The only thing you have to know about the clutch driver is make sure you get it aligned with the raised peg on the end of the crankshaft. Slide it on. I like to tighten it down by hand to push it all the way on, and then tighten the two pinch bolts that are in the clutch driver, and then you slide the cover on. And there is a clutch disc behind and in front of the driver. So these castle nuts here, I just got them tightened down right now. Nothing is set up as far as the clutch tension or the end play on the crankshaft, because we have to slide the flywheel a little ways off before we can set everything up, because I want to put some sealant behind it, because these tractors do not have a crankshaft seal that's directly on the crankshaft on the flywheel side. So we're going to go ahead and improvise with that. Let's see. I don't really have anything else to get done right at this second here. I could put the tappets in place and push rods, I suppose, or I could go to bed after I put this towel over the springs, because it's probably about 3:30 in the morning. So I've been out here messing around because I can't sleep. So I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for wrenching with me, and stay tuned for the next one.